if you say no.
Yeah, last time I did this part, or last time I was doing this segment for YouTube, that is. Yeah, I was in a, I don't know, it was an interesting time in life for me. Still a pretty bad position, all things considered. I just kind of... Because for anyone who doesn't know, I had like this whole... There was a lot of drama going on at the time on Twitter, of all places. And I ended up actually deleting my Twitter after, like, getting into these arguments with a couple people. Like, kind of this little... Pretty much a clique is what I call it. Like, just a very inclusive type of people that just thought they were better than everyone else.
I like how you describe of Twitter of all places, when Twitter is nothing but drama and advertisement.
Well, I mean, this was back in, like, 2010, though. I mean, it wasn't quite as bad. It was just...
Eh. The seeds were planted.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I always, like... I don't know if I ever said this before on video, but I always, like, felt Twitter was kind of... It's... overrated, I guess. I don't know. I never thought... I thought the idea was stupid. Like, even nowadays, it feels like a chore to get on Twitter and, like, regularly post things, because it's just, like, it's kind of... It's a popularity contest is all it really is to me.
Basically, the only reason I'm ever on Twitter is purely for porn and advertisement.
Yeah, at least you're honest.
Because artists post stuff on there they don't post anywhere else, and honestly, Twitter, surprisingly, for how, like, fucking defensive of their, like, political beliefs they are, they pretty much allow, like, pornographic stuff on there. It's kind of weird, because they don't, I think, allow, like, images of ejaculation or something like that, I think. But, like, they allow perfectly, like, nudity and stuff like that.
Interesting.
I'm like how you're surprised by that, man. You know me, man.
I just know. I'm happy that you're forward about it. Like, that's cool.
Man, of all the degenerate stuff we talked about and everything I've ever said to you, it's just that fucking that reaction out of you, like that just, it feels like you kind of forgot something about me, man. Like we just don't talk enough these days.
I just didn't think you would say it on video.
Well, let's be perfectly honest. What good is Twitter these days, anyway? Besides that.
That is a very fair point. But anyway, yeah, I had, like... What's funny is, like, I deleted my Twitter, and then, like, right after I did that, everyone was begging me to come back. Like, everybody wanted me to come back to Twitter, and was like, why? It's like... You know, like, the surprised Pikachu face meme? It was kind of like that. Just, like...
Yeah.
Oh, let's fucking treat this guy who's clearly going through some bad shit. Let's just treat him like, let's throw him under the bus. You know, and then he deletes his Twitter and it's like, surprise Pikachu face. Like, seriously? You thought I wouldn't do it?
Like I said, the seeds were planted.
Oh
and
yeah,
nowadays,
no.
Look at people's reaction, just random bullshit, just...
Like...
It's like every single time I look at the popular trending thing, I'm like, okay, you know what, just for a little bit, I'll just see what people are saying. I go click on the thing, and all of a sudden, I'm immediately depressed looking for, like, oh my god, this is just so stupid.
Yeah, I actually had gone back and looked at a few of the old conversations, and it's still, like, it definitely sucked. I mean, what else can I say? Because it was, like, the main two guys in the clique were, this one dude called Brian, and he was like, he was just a bitch, because all he tried, like, he would try to give me all this, like, generic advice, like, it sounded like shit that come out of a fortune cookie or something like that. I don't know, and he would say the same shit over and over again, but no, the guy wasn't very smart. He was just, he thought he was the shit because he could make a website, but anybody can do that. I mean, I don't know, I don't like to hold on to stuff that's been, you know, under the bridge for so long, but for anyone that wanted to know what I was going through back when I was recording this segment, in the original LP. That's pretty much it. This guy was a... Well, they were all just dumb because, like, they didn't care. Everything was going so well for them that, like, it didn't matter that I was suffering. Like, as long as everything was A-okay for them, then that's all that mattered in their eyes.
Basically, it was pretty much like the customer is always right. It doesn't matter how much like the employee suffers, but as long as the client gets what they want, and it's just...
Yeah. But yeah, no, deleting my old Twitter was, definitely the first major step that I made towards getting out of the depression, because,
Yep.
certainly wasn't there just yet, but, like, Twitter itself, if you want to know, like, if you want to talk about the seeds being planted, Twitter was kind of where I started to... I feel like I kind of lost my sanity through Twitter, because when I got on there, it was just like... Again, it was kind of like a descent, if you will.
I could completely understand with that, man, because I think you definitely saw, like, I kind of, like, lost my sanity on Facebook.
That he did.
Yeah, basically, like, it was, I was going through, like, some stuff with me and my family, and here's the problem with, like, having, like, Twitter or Facebook when you're going through that thing. The thing is, though, most people kind of, like, view it as, like, a way to, like, release stress and stuff like that. Here's the problem, though. It's not so much the fact you're venting, that's the problem. The problem is what you're venting into. And the thing is, though, Facebook and Twitter is a place to vent outward into the open air where anyone can catch the heat and everything what you're venting. And literally anyone can, and the fact is, if anyone can, that includes literally anyone, including your family, friends, whoever, and if they don't like what you're venting, then they can literally throw that same vent back at you, because once again, they're also venting into the same thing, and you're catching it from them now, so you're trying to vent some more, but then it just only ends up, like, it's a vicious cycle is what it is.
Yeah, and like what happened was he said some things about his family, but his family like found out, like,
Yep.
and like they made him delete his Facebook. He has it back now, but yeah.
The only reason I'm on it now is purely to, because it's the only form of communication that with some people, like, because I don't have that many friends now, I'm trying to stay in contact with some people, and it's like one of the few communication methods I can talk to them. That, and, like, is one of the, because here's the thing, I understand about Facebook, everything, they have fucking data leaks and everything, it's all bullshit, and they're probably data mining every time I use it, but the fact is though, it's, one of the few ways people can talk to with each other. Like, you could say, like, well, I just advertise, like, this some other messaging site or other way for people to communicate. The thing is, the problem with that, you need, like, an account for that, an email. If I have to try to advertise that for every single person I freaking met ever, the thing is, they would never do that because it'd be too much trouble, essentially. So, it's... Like, I understand why people avoid Facebook and just never get on, never use it again. I fully understand that, and quite frankly, I don't use it either. I pretty much use it for, like, not pornography, because they don't allow porn on Facebook. But I use it, like, for advertisement and not to catch up on what people are saying, because I go through the same thing with Twitter, where I just go through Facebook and it's like, okay, I might find something interesting to look at, but the fact is, like, oh my god, that's just more and more of this, and I can't keep doing this. So I just get the same feeling of, like, descending into,
That's pretty
like,
much what's happening in this battle right now, where there's two confused Pokemon hurting each other over and over again.
Oh god. Oh, wait, hold on. Something's happening.
What?
I think it's on my end. Oh dear. Oh, okay, never mind. I think the recording got haunted. The screen became distorted.
Okay, good. Okay. So here's what happened in this battle. That was my last Sludge Bomb, but I can't switch out because I'm using Ingrain. So if that didn't poison, I would have to sit here and wait for this guy to kill me. If that didn't poison, you would be sitting here waiting for this fucker to... Oh no, well, it's just a super potion. Okay, good. He's still poisoned, that's what matters. I was gonna say, if he had a full restore, that would have sucked so bad. Because when you have Ingrain, you can't switch out. You're stuck.
I think our recording is becoming haunted, man. Like, for a while there, it was just becoming distorted to all hell.
Oh no. Creepypasta.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that was like one of the first like major steps I made towards recovery was when I deleted my Twitter in January of 2011. Because it was toxic towards me. It was just really destructive. See? I can't even be roared out. I'm literally stuck here until I stall this guy out with poison. And confusion, hopefully, but still. Yeah, it just, like I said, it wasn't a great time for me, but, you know, I got past it, that's what matters. It's just...
Basically, the first step for recovery is to, like, know when exactly chill off, because it's perfectly understandable why people need to vent. It's basically just get their frustrations out there. The problem is, though, like, again, it's where you're venting to, otherwise whatever you're venting out could return back to you and cause you to, like, vent out more, so... And with word of advice, it's like, never vent on social media. It's always a bad idea.
Oh shit, amnesia.
What?
You know
What does
what? I
that do?
will. It increases my special defense by 2 stages. I'll get rid of Confuse Ray.
Wow, that is just... Forgot Confused Ray learned amnesia.
Oh man. Brain freeze. Anyway. Yeah, see, that is like an actual canon version of that battle right now. He literally stalled me out so long that the submarine got away. Now, if I was able to, like, if I had Blaziken on my team right now, I would just probably swept him and that would have been it. But, like, no, that is the canon version of the events right now. Oh, man. So we have the Master Ball now, thankfully. I mean, we can get the fuck out of here. And, head on to greener pastures, I suppose. Which means plenty of surfing, so I'm gonna get some repels. The drink of choice for tonight, by the way, was Modelo Negra. A Mexican beer. Pretty good.
How do you like the Mexican beers?
I like them. One of my first regular beers that I had back when I was younger was Dos Equis. But Modelo is
What
pretty
does
good.
Dos Equis taste like? Because I know I like bitter drinks.
Yeah, it's a bit bitter. It's very earthy, is the way I describe it. It has a certain earthiness to it that other beers don't have.
So if I drink it, it's gonna taste like ass. Because that's really
So-
you described the drink you gave me that
Yeah,
one.
one time I gave him Sam Adams. And I described it as like earthy and nutty, and he goes like, you know, I did taste the earthiness and the nuttiness, but also a very distinct taste of ass.
I like how you just describe it like that, because I swear I didn't describe it say it like that. I said like,
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
I said I tasted the earthiness, but like ass.
No, I mean you. You typed that to me over Skype. You said like, yeah, I taste the
I swear-
distinct taste of ass.
The memory of what I say and what I type, you fucking have a fucking catalog of. I swear, you remember more stuff on Skype than Skype remembers of our conversation. So I swear. Like, if we go back and try finding conversations, they're never there, but you still remember to this day.
They were never there in the first place. So tell the audience here about your rage paragraphs, by the way.
Which one?
Just the general idea of them.
You know what? I have a couple of, like, rage paragraphs I've saved. Let me, like, dig them
Okay, yeah,
up.
we're gonna read them. We're gonna have
Okay,
a live...
Dramatic reading. Not dramatic rage though, because I'm too tired at the moment.
Yeah.
But let me see. Okay, here we go. Let me see. Where is it? Why is it? Let's see. Let me see here. Let's see. Okay, there's a couple of them actually, so let's see. Okay, here's one from Dark Soul 2, back in my... Here we Played more DS2, ran into the most absolute bullshit ever. First, I got further into the story, fucking broke a chest in the dragon shrine next to the mimic, grinded the area, got 300k souls, got my int up to 60. Now to spend more points everywhere else, defeated the Bonnie and Clyde. Those two are actually a cool boss, you just gotta time their shots. Alternate between the two, and you know when to roll and block. Tried the fucking sunken queen bitch. The boss would be alright on his own, but no, they had to make her summon fucking Veldstad. Who the fuck at From Software thought, you know what this boss fight needs? She needs to summon another boss. How about Veldstad? Even though it makes no fucking sense lore-wise, because Vel is supposed to guard the king, and none of the other queens can fucking order him around because he follows the king enough to guard him for eternity. Or are they fucking saying she has her own goddamn Veldstad, went further into the Ashen King, backstabbed invaders everywhere, got to the point where you run into those predator dudes, the queen boss, and this has got to be the most absolute bullshit thing in the entire game. There's a difference between bullshit and difficult and bullshit. Difficult provides a challenge that you need to find a way to solve or get around. Bullshit is shit. You can't do anything with it. You can't change it. And not what you fucking do, it stinks. And it's good for anybody. It isn't good for anybody. It's just shit. That was a tame one, actually, in comparison.
Do you, if you scroll up a little bit in Skype, I did send you the one for the Cephadrome in Monster Hunter.
Let me see it. I'll find your rage post. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. I remember back in the online days, I fought against a poison wyvern that I wasn't supposed to fight until a rank 4 single player, but because you can find one on your quest, I got to fight him. Here's the thing I remember about him. He's essentially the cuckoo, except he can spit poison so naturally he can poison you. The best way to deal with this boss is patience and item grading for antidotes. It's not any harder. I can actually forgive the bullshit tail tech because for once, it makes sense. His tail is practically a flail, so even though he might be considered a reskin, this one little changes makes you prep for the fight in a different way. That fucking Sephiroth bullshit on the other hand, I think they might have must affect him with Freedom G because for fuck's sake I used all my potions, all my sonic bombs. I still couldn't get to properly fight this fucker with him boosting out. Let me make this clear. The Sephiroth, the original PS2 game, is a complete pussy who will constantly run away from you, never allowing you to get hit, while the Kutku will try and kill you on even ground. The Sephiroth is a bigger pussy than the Kutku. The Sephiroth is a bigger pussy than the Kutku.
And that is actually his experience with the first Monster Hunter game.
That was back when, I think the second time I tried to get back to it after the servers died. The third time I tried to get super hardcore into it, but then again I moved, I couldn't actually finish it. I got to rank 4, I believe, where I fought the Rathalos. And oh dear god, that thing is aggressive.
Oh man. You can read my rage paragraph if you want.
Fuck it, sure, why not? I can't actually act it out realistically because, you know, like, people are sleeping and stuff. Let's see. All I wanted to do was change my fucking NAT settings to open to see if that would help me connect to more people on PSN for Monster Hunter. I had done this before my old modem. It was tricky, but once it worked, it fucking worked. So I go into router settings and change it. At first, it actually works. I adjust my connection, get NAT type 1. Then the shitstorm ensues. My PC can connect to the internet just fine, but on my phone and PS4 are repeatedly unable to obtain my IP address even though it's perfectly visible. Okay, so the setting's fucked. I'll just go change it back. Nope, the page has my router settings now refuses to load whatsoever. Why the fuck would they make it so that once you change a setting that fucks over your entire connection, now you're locked out and can't access the one goddamn page on the internet that would fix it? This is a mistake I expect from an entry-level college presentation or some shit. I finally had to have a repairman come over to fix it, for which he did for free, but still, what the absolute fuck were Grande thinking not having a failsafe for this?
And yes, that actually did happen to me. It was just as bullshit as he made it out to be in his reading right there.
No, I can make him out more bullshit, but you know, again, if I was in like a noise-proof room and oh dear God, I would be raging man. But honestly,
yeah, what's really good is I do still have some recordings of him raging, and they're glorious.
oh man, he likes to like freaking reverse things, and somehow I'm reversing. I sound like a cat.
Because you go like, why? And in reverse, it sounds like meow. Okay, so at last, we're gonna finally get Purp Knight to evolve. You're at level 40? Let's do it. No more growing. Let's just use all these rare candies. And, get things going, shall we? For the final evolution of the LP, we have Cradilly.
Digimon Evolution is better. Like, no
permanent.
shit. In the Digimon World War I adventure, basically, it looks like, because they go through this awesome thing where they, like, strip away all the textures and everything until they only got the wireframe, and then they put it all back into the newly evolved form. It looks like they're kind of like they're going through pain and everything. It's like painfully changing their Digimon DNA to transform into this new monster and everything.
That sounds pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to come over to my house a lot and just play, like, different games.
Oh,
Like, we
yeah.
played Life is Strange. And, like, every time we made a decision and went back, we were like, Zawa, Zawa.
Zawa.
Yeah, we played it backwards. And then there was the time in the Saints Row Get Out of Hell where, like, we were drinking.
Dude, we were drunk, we were high, and then at the same time, there's a musical number in Saints Row Get Out of Hell. And
But
we
it
were
comes
drunk and
out of nowhere. Like, there's no
Yeah.
trigger for it. You were just
Like-
doing random optional missions and it just happened.
Here's the thing, it's weird, like, being, like, we were still in control of ourselves, we were still, like, had to, well, what's the word, like, not
We were
semblance,
still
but,
lucid. Yeah.
we was being lucid, but being high and drunk, and watching it all at the same time. Because here's the thing, we were taking in the information, but there was no way to process this. Because like, we want to believe, like, look, we're high, we're drunk, we're hallucinating this, but we're not. But there's no plausible explanation for this besides the fact it's just happening.
Oh man, yeah, that was a trip. That was definitely a trip, just cause.
Was that the same day the dude we
Yeah, I think it was when we
got it
found
right.
that guy at the gas station and we smoked weed with him.
Yeah. God damn.
Yeah, because it was just like, there was no like special trigger for it. That was the weirdest thing about it.
It's just a cutscene that happens.
Yeah. Remember that time that, like, you were staying over and, like, it was the next day, I had, like, fallen asleep, and you were, like, trying to get some out of my closet or something.
Oh yeah.
And you knocked over that, like, tin, I don't think used to have popcorn in it. And I like looked over to see what it was. And then immediately...
You fucking woke up, then went to sleep. Just... It was disturbing, man. It was
just instantly fell back asleep. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad to be playing this game again in like a good, a good point in my life, because back in 2010, I was just like, that was pretty much rock bottom for me. I was doing nothing with my life, like, I think I said this in one of my old one of the old videos, but I wonder what kind of hidden power I have. Let's find out. Okay, it's neutral effective against water, we know that much. Yeah. No, like, I would talk about, like, being homeschooled. That never happened. I totally lied about that. I was trying to get into homeschooling, but I never actually finished. Like, I didn't ever actually get into homeschooling. I didn't get into school until 2011, again, after my departure. But yeah, I was just in like a really, really bad spot in life. Like, I was just... all I pretty much did all day was just like sit at home and like either do this or like fuck around on the computer or play Xbox or sleep. Like, I think that's why I like haven't gotten depressed or anything, other than just nothing particularly awful happening to me. It's because I got through that point early on in life compared to some people, I guess. Oh, a double battle. But yeah, for anyone who like wanted to know the extent of like what was going on during the original recording of Pokemon Ruby, well, the second half of it anyway, it's just, it was a lot of bad shit like that. And I don't recommend anyone to attempt such, because it was no fun. I mean, I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed back then. Oh, okay. So it was super effective against the dark Pokemon. So that narrows it down. So Genius, what do you think hidden power is? Do you think it's bug, or is it fighting?
I honestly have no idea, man. I have no idea what the hidden power is. I never used it.
It's a move that can be any of the 16 types, but it's always the same type.
Okay.
But yeah, I apologize to anyone who had to sit through my, sit through that, because I really couldn't talk about the extent of just all that I was going through. And I guess I did a pretty good job of hiding it, I mean, to my credit, but I tried to make it seem like things were okay, but it was the absolute lowest point in my life. Like, I'm glad that I never sunk that low again, just because obviously it helped me grow as a person and all that good stuff. I have to say though, just while he's here on the video with me, I do have to give a lot of props to Mr. Genius at work here, because he was like the only person who was ever positive in my life. Like, one time when he was staying over last year, we got into a discussion with my mom, and he basically said something along the lines of like, yeah, you may have fucked up in the past, but she could at least, acknowledge the positive advancements you're making. Like, you said something to that effect. Yeah, you were kind of the only person in my life, especially back when I was going through bad shit, and after I lost my job, like, you were pretty much the only person who was, like, not antagonizing me or emotionally abusing me, because most of my family... Because, like, the second worst time in my life was when I lost my HEB job, because I got set up to get fired, and, it was all because of that, you know, that subhuman piece of filth, Richard Garcia. But obviously that made me in, like, really bad financial straits. And according to everyone else, it was my fault that I lost the job. So, like, a lot of our, like, you know, our mutual friend Isabella, even, like, she was mad at me for it, because back when I had the job, I had, like, owed her some money. And I had, you know, prefaced it or explained beforehand that, like, I might not be able to pay this all off right away because I lost my job, but she got on my ass about it, and she would, like, she tried to, like, find out anytime I was spending money, because she thought that, like, she thought I had, like, some hidden hoard of money that I was keeping to myself, even though obviously that wasn't the case. I didn't even have, like, enough money to eat most of the time. Oh, thank you, sir. I wonder if you can do this again already. Let's find out. I just never got to get the item last time. Oh. That I can. But yeah, no, Isabelle is a great person. She's been very trustworthy and just came through in some hard situations, but the truth of the matter at the time was, like, she had gotten... Are you still there, Elijah?
Yep.
Okay, I'm making sure. Yeah, I didn't hear for a second. Yeah, she had gotten with this guy. It was the guy that she got with right after Donovan. And his name was Matt, and, like, this guy was a total loser. Like, he was several years... Okay, good ass strength. He was, I think, like, 10 years older than Isabella at the time. And he pretty much had, like, he had nothing going for him. He was just this total loser who, like... He used to, like, do a lot of meth. And he couldn't get any, like, any decent jobs, and, like, they tried to move in together, but it was obviously, you know, never gonna work. So, I think what actually happened was, like, she would go around, like, trying to find people that owed her any kind of money from, you know, years ago, and I happened to owe her, like, $60 because of the Lady Gaga concert she took me to. And, like... You know, I try to pay people back as much as I can, but at the time I was in such bad financial straits that I couldn't, you know, I could barely pay for anything for myself. That move sucks, I'm not gonna learn it. But she didn't understand that or didn't grasp it. Like I said about my girlfriend Sam before, that's kind of a... I'm not, like, knocking autistic people. Like, I think they can be some of the smartest people in the world, but, like, autistic people have a tough time rationalizing stuff like that. They think that, like, things are set in stone, like, they're just that way, I guess. It's kind of hard to explain, but Plain Bro could probably explain it better than I could. But, like, she thought that because I had the money when I was working my job that, like, I should just be able to pay it off anytime, no matter what. And she would constantly get on my ass because, she needed that money at the time. Because what happened was she tried to move out with Matt, but Matt was this total loser who really had no future for himself because he had blowing all his stuff on, you know, drugs. So the reality of it was, like, she just made a bad decision getting, you know, shacking up with this guy who had nothing, you know, nothing going for him. And she tried to say, like, well, Matt can't get a job because the job market in Waco is stagnant, and I'm like, well, why is that an excuse for him but not for me, you know? I did eventually end up paying her back, but I just think it's kind of, like, wrong to get on somebody's ass for a debt like that when they're very clearly in a different situation than they were at the time, and you know, I hate to sound like I'm not trying to sound like a scammer here, but I never did say that, like, well, I'll definitely pay you back with this immediately. I said, you know, when we were going to the concert, I said, hey, I don't have the money for the gas right now, can you still do this? And she said yes. She didn't say, you have to pay me right now. She just said, yeah, we'll do it. So it's like, not that I had no intent of paying her back, I certainly did, I didn't make a specific promise, you know, set in stone to do it right then and there, so it was just one of those things. But all that said, she's a great person. She was actually this guy's prom date.
Oh man, I actually dug up the prom date pictures we took.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And we technically, at our school, we had like 2 proms, I think,
We did.
when we were there. Yeah. We got pictures for like the first one and the second one. I think there were pictures, but I think it was only available for the local, like,
News
yeah.
website, yeah. Yeah, our
Somehow,
mutual friend Abby got...
I don't understand, like, how I got elected, like, prom king that one time.
I know, like, I mean, it was awesome, but one has to wonder, yeah.
How did it work, though? Like, who decided that? Was it a random law?
Yeah.
Fucking Xavier tore up the fucking floor that prom night.
Hell yeah. Remember when I did the Dance for Love game and, like, the head of my disco stick came off at the very end?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I think I'm gonna call it quits for this part. We have finished off the Team Aqua hideout. To the next step in the Trick House, we reached Moss Deep City, so... we now have 2 gyms to take on. We have the Four Tree City Gym as well as the the Moss Deep City Gym, so we can take on whichever one we want to next time. That's going to be a lot of fun. 2 more badges to get, and we finally have our fully evolved team here. We got our good old boy Double Down here, Flame Bro. We got Big the Cat, Meow. We got Sabrina, we got Purp Knight, and we got Mr. Vocalist 92. So I'd say we're pretty well set for the next leg of our adventure. So until then, I have been Love Game.
And I'm the genius at work. Come join us depressing down memory lane.
Yeah, this is some lovely chill time for you. But until then, I will see everyone next time and have a safe night.
Sad soul.